Hello, good day everyone. My name is Oluwatobiloba.
My name is Olajimoke. Welcome to the month of February, popularly known as the month of love.
In this month of love, we will be asking couples, married people, and young folks certain questions about love, relationship, and the challenges they have faced in their marriage. Please be kind to listen and pay attention.
And as we all know, Valentine is near, like it's very, very near. So please do get a gift for your loved ones.
So, all right, let's go.
Let's go.
It depends on what is causing the divorce.
Exactly.
Divorce can be caused by many factors, one of which the Bible talks about. For reasons of infidelity, couple can decide to go their separate ways. Sometimes in the real world, for lack of children, people may say, we are not compatible, they've tried over and over, and we can't continue. Sometimes it's about money. This fellow has tried his best, this lady has tried her best, and the money we are trusting God for is not coming and we can't wait anymore. People want to part ways. Sometimes it's due to bad behavior, bad conduct, lack of care for each other in the marriage. Some of those things added together can cause friction, and they can lead to a point where both parties will say, it's time to call it quits. I'm not saying that we cannot quit, but we must be patient enough to see what is rectifiable, what is remediable in that relationship. I believe that almost all relationships can be remedied, almost all. I'm very careful with what I'm saying, because if you say all relationships, you may be wrong. But I believe almost all relationships can be cured. One of the things that happens to most marriages is that they don't know how to renew the love. They don't know how to renew the love. I'm not taking care of you anymore. I'm looking at this and that. I'm very busy. Therefore, I'm not having time for you. All you need to do is to refreshing that. Like the Bible will talk about putting new wine in new wineskin. That's an analogy. Not putting the new wine in an old wineskin. Meaning doing something fresh that makes the relationship look brand new again. However, when everything fails, one party is molesting the other, one person is abusing the other, and it's not remediable for whatever reason, there is nothing wrong if both parties will have to part for the sake of their own peace. I'm not advocating that people should divorce. I'm being very clear about what I'm saying. However, if it gets to a point where both parties cannot reconcile, do you know that it is possible that both people, they just don't want to see themselves anymore? The arguments don't stop. You have tried to renew, you bought clothes, you bought shoes, but because of the things that have happened in the past, and people can't get over them, they can't be healed. The healing process may not happen quickly, or we've tried to endure the healing process and it's not happening the way we want it to happen. Sometimes, even in church, we preach that you should allow both parties to separate for a while so that they can cool off. If after separation, the affection is still not, reconnected, it might be time for both parties to go away.
If you want to look from the Bible, divorce is not permitted in the Bible. Even there is a scripture that says, when someone offends you, you forgive 70 times 7. And I don't know how someone can offend you like 490 times in a day. So, it's very important to look at the genesis, like my husband said, the root, what is causing the quarrel, the rift in the house, and we can both sit down and discuss it. Let's address issues. Don't just assume for me and for me to assume for you that, oh, this is what she's thinking about, this is what he's thinking about. No. Let's sit down and talk. We don't talk, and communication is very, very important. But if it's life-threatening, we are not going to advise that you have to stay there because you are married to the man and you must be there. No.
By virtue of the exposure that we have, I will not object to you marrying from another ethnic group. I will not. What is important in most cases is what kind of person is she bringing? One of the questions I will ask my daughter, who is this fellow? How did you know him? Where did you meet him? Who are his parents? What does he believe? The belief system. The reason why I will ask who are his parents is to see where he's coming from. What type of belief system may have been injected into him that can make you succeed or fail? That's why those questions are very important. But above everything else, I have no objection to you marrying from any group at all, as long as you have a solid value system and your relationship is based on Christ.
Firstly, I would say be very prayerful, because I know I prayed after I met him, and he had not even made his intention known, but when I started seeing signs that he's like, this guy is going to come and ask you out, all of that, I prayed and I got several convictions. Like I had several, like I was convinced that yes, this is the person. I was very sure. So it's not as if somebody came to tell me this person. No, I had my convictions and I told him, I said, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons. This is the reason why I'm going to agree. And I'll also advise people that are going to get married that when you get married, you are coming to live with someone that you have not lived with before. You have different character and you grew up from different backgrounds. You have to be very patient. You have to be tolerant. Because I remember when we initially got married, little things used to cause plenty shouting and this one, that one. I don't even know why I got married to you and all of that. But the truth is that now we don't even, sometimes I'll be like, you know, we don't even fight, we don't even argue over, because there are a lot of times that even when I want to say something, it's like the Holy Spirit will just tell you, don't say it, and he will be the one to say, oh, sorry, I did this. I'll be like, thank God I didn't say. So you have to be forbearing. You don't have to take a lot of things personal, to be very honest, because over time when you get to know each other, you realize that there was no reason to shout at the initial stage.
It's just for the young people to be patient, be tolerant to each other, and then be prayerful too. And I believe there's nothing God cannot do. Because I remember when we got married, I was living in a boys' quarter, in a room apartment. A boys' quarter, not even the main bedroom. And but today, God did the glory.
Well, I've heard everybody said prayer, which I totally agree with. What I also would advise is set your agenda on what you prefer, what you want, not what other people want. Because at the end of the day, you are still the person that will stay in the relationship or in the marriage. So whatever you feel, this is what I think I can sustain, is what I think I can live with, whatever the storm might be. I think that's what you should set out to. If you know you want somebody that is outspoken, there's no point trying to get somebody that is not outspoken to now be an outspoken person. That means you're trying to change the characteristics of the person, which might be a difficult task to actually achieve. So you set out to, okay, this is the criteria of the person I want, and you pray that God, because God will always answer such prayers, that God, this is what I'm expecting. Because He knows that this is what you are capable and you're going to be able to manage. So He will not give you something that you won't be able to manage. So that's what I always tell people.
To keep the marriage is a long way. You have to be patient and
Be prayerful as well.
prayerful and tolerance.
Prayerfulness is very important. And don't look at Ford Explorer. Because way back, our first car was a Volkswagen Beetle. I'm not sure any of you guys know what it is. And it wasn't even a brand new Beetle. And here she is. Way back then, the vehicle can just kaput on the road, which means it's not about what a man is, as is, that determines whether you are going to marry or not. It's very important for you to look at anyone you want to marry as just a plant that is being planted. You don't expect to be plucking fruits on it. It is going to germinate and gestate over some period of time, after which you can also both enjoy even the fruit of your labor in terms of the vehicles or even the jets, aircraft that God wants to give you. But it's not an instant thing for youths of nowadays to think that you want to get to, as they say it, I don't want Surulere, I want Olorun Shogo. No. It is not supposed to be.
The advice is that Like when I was courting my husband, I was desperate to marry well. So I prayed. When I met him, I had so many suitors because I was good at homework, cooking, cleaning. And you know, men love people that are homely. So I had so many suitors, but I was telling God, God, I don't want to go with the wrong man. I want to marry my own husband so that I can enjoy. Because in my father's house, I didn't really enjoy because I do too much work. So I want to enjoy someone that would love me, and so meeting him, and I thought maybe he was a Christian. So I dated him for some time. So one day he asked me, what is it that can make you not to marry me? And I said, provided you are not a Muslim, which you are not, because he was living with an uncle who was a Christian. So he now said, guilty conscience made it, and he said, I'm a Muslim. So I left him. So I left him for some time, for about a year or two. So and I was praying, I said, God, bring my husband. I don't want to marry a Muslim. So one day God came and revealed himself to me and said, my daughter, you are going with a strange man. Look back, see your husband. And I was going with this guy from my village. So looking back, I saw him knelt down, crying and saying, I just removed my hand from him in that dream and I went to him. So when I woke up, I told my mom, I said, Mommy, I have found my husband. He said, what did you mean? So I explained to her and I said, I'm going to his office. I'm going to tell him I'll marry him. My advice is this, to every young person, you must pray to be sure that that is the man made for you. It's not good to just go with anybody. Don't be desperate to go with any man, because some people can be very oppressive, so that you can have comfort. It's not as if we don't have our own misunderstanding, but God will not let it be out of hand. You always be able to manage yourselves and love each other and overlook each other's trespasses. And my marriage will be 35 years this year, to the glory of God. And I can tell you, I'm still in love with this man.
My first advice, know who you believe. Second, know you are also marrying. What promises is he carrying? Because everyone has some amount of promises that they are carrying. And how is he voicing out, or how is she voicing out the promises that she's carrying? And above all, work hard. Because if you choose to work hard, even when people have told you can't make it, your story can actually change. I've seen people that people told you are not going to be this, you're not going to be that. They've turned the pundits to nothing. They've turned them to liars. If you work hard enough and you are focused on what you are chasing, I can tell you that there is nothing that is impossible. If it appears impossible at the beginning, you can create them in the course of time.
I think it's very important to know who you are marrying, like you rightly said. And believe in that person is very important. You know, there must be a time that the two of you will have to come together and like you look at him. Am I ready to spend the rest of my life with this person? There must be certain qualities in the life of that man. Not really money anyway. You know, I remember then, I'll just look at my husband, I'm like, this Lagos is very funny. How can they see a guy like this and they are not giving him a job? You understand? We always laugh about it. So when you see those qualities in your partner, I'm like, it may not be rosy initially, but we need to trust ourselves and trust God that all will be well. Number one, open your eyes very well. Look at the qualities, look at the virtues. Is this person a child of God? Is this person a child of God? So during the course of that relationship, maybe we were friends before. You can't even jump into someone and like, I want to marry you. It's not a day thing. Your path must have crossed, maybe in the office, in the church, anywhere, or family outings. So we have to look at some values in the life of the person. Am I compatible? Can I tolerate this person? It's very important.
It's not about searching for love all over. I think we stumble. In most cases, we stumble into love. Not that we are searching. Some people search, but in the dimension that I look at things from, we stumble on it. We went to school with people, we were friends at some point in time, and then we were friendly. I take note of those things. In the place of work, in the church, we observe people generally, and somehow there's a picture of the kind of person you want to marry in your mind. Otherwise, you just marry anybody. And that's dangerous for you. The way it applies to the man is the same way it applies to the woman. Pay attention to those details. Marry a person that is of value, that has quality that you can be proud of 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the line. Who can be a proud father of your children that you want to have together?
If you are in a relationship and your parents are not in support, number one, we need to know why. But because it's very important that for you to receive your parents' blessing before you go into any relationship, you can't call bluff of your parents that I don't care. If you are not interested, I want to go on with this relationship, it's not proper. In fact, it's not. God is not in support of that, because He says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, so that it can be well with you." If their reasons are not genuine, we can invite some people, maybe in their church or family or some areas, to speak to them, to talk to them that, what is the reason? Why don't you want me to marry this particular person? But I'm not going to support a relationship that your parents are not in support. But if the reason is very genuine, then my advice is you call off the relationship and you move on with your life.
I'm the one.
As a sharp man, I did.
It's not Facebook love now. I was the one that said it first.
On a date, we go out well. My wife and I go out. There's no, it's a regular thing for us to eat out, talk to people, meet people. It's not it's a regular thing in our house. When my children come around now, I just take them out. I just say, okay, we are going back to school tomorrow. Once it's school, for example, this is Sunday. If they are going to school this evening, I will have taken them out yesterday, Saturday. And we are all going out together. My wife goes with us. My children come home for holiday, they are traveling out. The day before they travel, I take them out. Or a Sunday before, like a Sunday like this in the evening, that's what I do mostly with my children.
When we were still very young, let me put it that, before walk, yes, I think every Sunday.
Amen.
Every Sunday, when the children were still very young.
It was not even, don't forget that there were many days that we finished church service here. Once we finished.
And not as
and
in
it was,
just
and
the
it was
two
almost
of us.
like a Sunday.
That's what
Sunday.
they are saying.
There were always the people with us. We don't, the two of us are not just always by ourselves.
But there are some dinner dates you can do alone with your wife.
Yeah, good idea. So, good idea. I'm not objecting to it. But to take my wife alone. Yeah. Once in a while. But because I'm a daddy of men.
Valentine is coming.
You are the love of my life. You are the best in the whole.
That's not how to say it, right?
I should say it the way I want to say it now.
You look at your partner when you are saying those things.
No, I can say it. Just calm down. Let me say it. Is there a rule?
Yes.
As to how you want? There's no rule, right? You are the love of my life. There is no one in this world that I love more than you. You are the mother of our beautiful children. You are the rock. You are the small rock behind the rock. You know what I mean? Because God is the big rock now. And you have been there for me without any doubt. And I owe you a lot of appreciation for what you've done over these many years. And I trust that this is just the beginning of greater days to come.
And you now need to end it with...
I love you.
Peter, Olusola, Obabori, Obabogbogbo, Òrùlé bàjà mọ́lẹ̀, like my mother-in-law will always say, oh yeah, look at my face. You know I love you.
Benny, I know.
I love you and I cherish you. And you are the husband of my youth. the father of my children, and the love of my life, my one and only. I love you, and God bless you.
Amen.